Mine.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We have reached the designated day, the designated place, and the designated time
Yeah, more or less.
for this auspicious occasion. This audience is filled with all of the loyals, all of the trustworthies, all of those who have supported the Wadleigh Scholars Program and who have been students of Mr. Plummer's for years. Because once you're a Plummer student, you're always a Plummer student. I am acting as MC today, which means I'm not going to talk as long as I normally do, because Chris wants to put more time into his speech.
Okay.
But and Wendy's here to wish me off if I talk too long. This is how we do it.
Yeah.
This is how we do it. I'm happy that we're on this street corner at this time. How many times I've walked from 112th Street and 8th Avenue. I know Frederick Douglass Boulevard. I have to give respect. But 8th Avenue, if you're from here, you know it's 8th Avenue.
Yep.
To this side of Wadleigh, or, yes, this is 7th, or through 8th Avenue and down 14th Street. It was always a trek. Somehow when you're that young, it seemed like a big thing. Today, we have a distinguished panel of speakers. We have senators. We will soon have a councilman. Oh, he's here. He's here. And we have alumni. We have teachers. We have colleagues of Mr. Plummer. We are hoping to cover the spectrum that speaks to his influence. The other day I was speaking to Les Ellison, and he mentioned something that I'd heard before. I wasn't sure if I'd heard from him. He talked about the Plummer effect, okay? And what that is that once you know of Mr. Plummer and the program that he inspired and that he guarded to his heart right through to 2014, once you know of it, you tell 2 people, and they tell 2 people, and so on, and so on, and so on. And the other thing is, if you do well, your children do well, your grandchildren do well, and it's passed on. We call it, and the siblings, okay? We call that legacy. Let me look at the program, so I'm not going to talk too long. First up on the podium is Christopher Orkes. He is a partner at Parker Chapin. No, HSF. Okay, sorry. I always get these things wrong. He's also the president of the Wadleigh Scholars Program. We've all been working together for many, many years. I give you Chris Orkes.
Well, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here today. We've been thinking about this, and the time has come. What I'm going to try to do today is give you a little bit of flavor about Mr. Plummer and his impact on us and how we sort of changed and grew because of Mr. Plummer. So Mr. Plummer had a number of sayings that he kept repeating and sort of inculcate in your life, as you will see. So he used to say, the cost to educate a child in a public school is a lot less than the cost to keep an adult in prison for multiple years.
That's right.
Mr. Plummer really felt strongly when he started this program, how do we save the black boys in Harlem and elsewhere, because too many of them were going to prison. He also used to say, and the one we heard a lot, he says, I don't want to send our children to the University of Sing Sing or the College of Rikers Island.
That's right.
I would prefer to send them to Harvard and Yale.
Yes.
And we took that to heart. Mr. Plummer said that. And the purpose, he said, of the program is to give these young people, and he always called us young people, which for us was kind of a change, and it was a good thing, to give young people options. Options of what boarding school they should attend, options of what college or university they should attend. Mr. Plummer provided us with those options. He used to say, I don't tell our young people that you have to be a lawyer or a doctor or a specific profession. Instead, he would say, I'm giving them an option to decide what they want to do, whether it's in medicine, law, education, community service. It was going to be their choice. He said, it'll be your choice, and they will be really well equipped to make that choice after boarding school and college. So in essence, this program, he said, does not only change, and Ralph alluded to this actually, to the positive effects it has on the lives of the young people, the people actually going through the program, but it also changes and positively affects the lives of the families and their children. I can say Mr. Plummer's impact on my family is broad. And then the one thing I want to end, and one of the things he always said, which we always, is kind of really pertinent today. He says, the pendulum swings back and forth. And by that, what he meant, the political pendulum. He had spoken about John Lindsay. Who remembers John Lindsay? But he funded public schools. And then the next administration pulled back on it. I remember how excited and happy Mr. Plummer was when Barack Obama was elected president. Of course, if Mr. Plummer were here today, he would say to each of us, as I told you, the pendulum swings back and forth. Yes. And we are unfortunately in a difficult and unfortunate path in which the pendulum has swung now. And in a sense, he would say, that's actually, the pendulum has swung this way as a reaction, unfortunately, to Barack Obama's presidency. But then he, with a positive sense, would say the pendulum is going to swing again. And we all better be here working to make sure that pendulum swings again back to their approach where it affects us as a people positively. So I have a few Plummer stories I want to tell, just because it just affected us positively. So the first day of classes in the 8th grade, he had us line up outside of the class. And then he gave us assigned seats in the classroom. I mean, that was a concept none of us knew. So we each were put in the seat that he wanted. The next time I experienced assigned seating was my first day of classes at Harlem School. Wow. Mr. Plummer had foresight. Then the other thing, simple things mattered to him. Like he said, he had these rules. He said, do not crumple paper in class because it disturbs others. He said, instead, you must fold the paper and deposit it in the trash can. To this day, I fold paper before I deposit it in the trash can. Mr. Plummer also wrote the number 7 with a line through it, which is something he adopted when he lived in Europe. To this day, I write a line through the number 7. You know, my mom used to make elaborate Sunday dinners. We lived on 112th Street. And one Sunday, she invited Mr. Plummer, and I was scared as heck. Why is Mr. Plummer here? I mean, you got to deal with him during the week, and he was there on the Sunday night for dinner. Mr. Plummer became a regular at Sunday dinners. And that was good, because I feel honored and fortunate that I stopped being scared of him and really got to know him well. Mr. Plummer, of course, as many of you know, took us to Broadway shows and to Lincoln Center, which was his way, subtle as it was, to make us grow culturally. And boy, did we have to get dressed up to go to those events. We just couldn't show up dressed casually. As a result, we met Lena Horne and Cheetah Rivera, who were big supporters of the program. And of course, not surprised to anyone here, Mr. Plummer attended my wedding, and because he'd become a member of our family. You know, Mr. Plummer, during my year in the class in the 8th grade, arranged for an exchange with a school from Rockaway. And it was a predominantly white school. So one week we went there for a day and we spent the day there. We all got dressed up in white shirts and looking, the girls well dressed. And we met them and we interacted with them. And then a few weeks later they came. Of course, they weren't dressed up and all that to come here. But Mr. Plummer was thinking ahead. He wanted us, when we arrived at these boarding schools, to be comfortable with our white peers. He wanted us to know that they are no different, and we are no different. And I think that goes to the point of his thoughtfulness and his foresight. You know, Mr. Plummer loved the Knicks. I started taking Mr. Plummer to Knick games, and I love seeing his competitive side. He would always say, I can tell, I have some advice for the coach on how he can do better, but that was Mr. Plummer. In September 17, 2016, I accompanied Mr. Plummer to the National Museum of the African American History, where he was a special guest, by the way, for having contributed objects to the Lena Horne exhibit. This visit was even before the opening of the museum on September 24th, 2016. And he was so amused when I told him that, Barack Obama finally attended, he was at the opening. He said, you see, I got to go to the museum before even Barack Obama did. Mm. So as I look back, I think Mr. Plummer educated the whole student, the whole person. Academically, we used to stay after school to work and prepare for boarding school. Socially, of course, the Broadway shows and teaching us how to use silverware and which is the right side. Of course, I never told Mr. Plummer that some of those kids at boarding school had no clue how to do it either, but I didn't want to burst that bubble. But most importantly, he made us feel confident about ourselves and on our background, and that we should go forth and feel proud of why we were there and what we had to achieve. As I like to say, nary a day goes by when I don't think about Mr. Plummer. He was in essence a father to me. My father had abandoned us when he came to this country, and Mr. Plummer sort of stepped in and did the right thing for us. He made a difference in my life, obviously, and my sister's life. We went to a private school here and now runs a program that's a replica of this program in Newark. And, of course, Ralph alluded to it, the legacy he wanted to create. I am proud to say that my daughters didn't go through the program, but they went to Andover and Harvard. And those are the things he knew, he understood, that we had no clue. We were just kids playing around and had to become focused. So today is an honor for me, and it's like the appropriate time and event to honor Mr. Plummer. He was a wonderful man, and in essence, what he did is it affect each of us, our families, this neighborhood, so that we can be proud to be Black and Latin folks who can show that we can compete at the best schools that America has to offer. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Chris. Our next speaker is one of Mr. Plummer's favorite people, I understand. It's Miss Janice Simpson, who has known Mr. Plummer since she was in the first group.
And in much of the time that he was here on this earth, times were also tough. And there are a lot of things that Black and brown people weren't allowed to do in this country. He was just one person, but he found a way to do something that would make many lives better. As is well known by now, by some of you, back in the summer of 1964, Mr. Plummer was sitting on the beach in the south of France and reading an issue of Time magazine, where I would later work. And back then, he saw an article about a program that was searching out and sending poor kids in this country to some of the most elite private schools in this country. And so when he came home, he did something about it. He recruited friends and colleagues, and he started a program here on 114th Street that would find and nurture smart and ambitious kids in this neighborhood and send them to those schools. He was just one person touching just a few lives, but over the past 60 years, the lives that Edward Plummer changed, including mine, have rippled out to change other lives by becoming teachers and doctors and lawyers and journalists and bankers and realtors and social workers and entrepreneurs and artists. So it makes me happier that I have the words to say, and I'm usually a person who has a lot of words. It makes me happier than I can say that we are here today to celebrate his memory and the power that one person can have by co-naming this street in his honor. Names are very important for many of us whose ancestors were stripped of their names when they were brought to this country as enslaved people. Some of us, as my own husband did, abandoned the names they were given and chose names that more accurately reflected who they were. Mr. Plummer did that too. Edward was not his given name, but one he chose for himself because it represented who he wanted to be. It gives me such joy that people in the future, for generations to come, will see this sign and that name, Edward Plummer. They may not know who he was or even what he did, but they will see his name, and some of them will say it, and in doing so, they will continue to give him the honor that he so richly deserves. Thank you.
Thank you. I dropped. Next up, one of my favorite teachers of all time. It is a pleasure to be able to honor you in public because I'm sure I gave you a hard time when I was in school. But Ms. Matthews prepared us to go into school. We walked out of Wadleigh. I walked into a prep school that was predominantly white and an experience I had never had. And on my first test, they walked up to me and they gave me a test grade back. And he said, "Ralph, you got 100. And all the other students in the class were looking at me like, who is this person? Ms. Carmen Matthews, former teacher of Wadleigh and former principal of New York City Public Schools.
Yeah.
I don't remember volunteering to speak, but nevertheless, it's wonderful looking back at the memories that I have and that many of you have. One of the things that I do remember very clearly was Mr. Plummer. When he first started teaching at Wadleigh, he was teaching average and below average students. But he had high aspirations for them in that they knew how to behave, they knew how to work diligently. And so he had the opportunity to reach out to those who were perhaps a bit higher intellectually. But we, Doris Brunson in English, and I in my mathematics, we were constantly reaching out to students at all levels, but especially to this group of those students who were willing to be motivated to go on to higher education. And so I look back and I say, oh, what a good time we had, and what a pleasure we had to work with these students. And so memories are great. And in reading this summary, I was able to put the ages together and the years together with the other memories. So I say welcome to all of you, those of you who I did not know, but those that I did know. It's a wonderful thinking and working with you. Thank you very much. I still live in Harlem.
Yeah.
After going to Junior High School 81, as a student, then I went to Hunter College High School, Hunter College, Ohio State University, and then I came back. I was teaching it at Ohio State University as well as going to classes there. And when I think about it, I left Ohio State. I started teaching in Mount Vernon for a couple of years till they could get my hearing straight. And then back to Wadleigh. When I first heard that was assigned to Wadleigh, I didn't want to go to Wadleigh. I wanted to go to Junior Richmond. But I never regretted coming back to Harlem.
Thank you.
And I live 106th Street from the east side.
That's right.
But my daughter graduated from Columbia University, and my son went to where Trump went.
Oh, man.
What was the name of that college in Pennsylvania? Wheaton?
Idiot school. Idiot school.
Business school.
Anyhow,
Called idiot school.
just wanted to give you those little tidbits to make you laugh.
Hey.
Okay. Another person among the loyals for Mr. Plummer is Senator Cordell Clear, who for years, before I even knew who Cordell Clear was, for years, she has been supporting Mr. Plummer, his efforts, and anything that's related to Wadleigh.
Yes.
Wadleigh, because you're a Wadleigh graduate. No?
No.
Oh, I always thought
My
that was
mother
the
didn't
case.
let me. My cousins went here.
Your mother didn't let you because they thought the school was too bad.
That's right.
At any rate, I am happy to introduce the New York State Senator for 30th District, Cordell Clear.
Okay, thank you, Ralph. First of all, I just really want to recognize and thank our councilman, Yusef Salam, and his team for putting this together. This is so important. Thank you. Thank you for this. And it's beautiful today. And there's a lot of things, people know the history of Mr. Plummer, and I'm going to speak to one part of it that's really important to me, the fighter in him. And the fighter in him came because of the love in him and the respect and the belief in our people that we were worth something, that we are smart, we can learn, and we just needed the right support. He just went every extra mile for every student. Speaker earlier talked about him going to his house. He went to a lot of people's houses. And they had that same fear. Now, I didn't get to go to Wadleigh. My cousins went here. And my mother said, no, y'all ain't going to be together. And it broke my heart. But I went here because of people like Dolores Roberts, Paul McIntosh, the people who said, you're not taking Wadleigh from us. You understand? We fought 3 mayors, 3 of them, and it was bitter. Yes, come on. Because this is a real estate opportunity. Because this is a beautiful and grand facility that they didn't think we were good enough to be in. And don't think that they haven't stopped looking. So the one thing I say to you, what made Mr. Plummer's time here so great? He knew the families. All the people came from the neighborhood, right? Everybody, you please try not to get in trouble in school because it was going to be found out. Right? And he was so close. Most parents gave him permission to snatch you up. Okay? But it was love. It was with love. And it was with confidence. But now what is happening, you see a lot of our children are not going to Wadleigh. Okay? So we have to make sure that we keep that school. Now that we fought Dolores, now it's an accredited art school, right? Now that it's something that everybody's looking at. Now that we have advanced courses. Now that we have the things that we always should have had in the first place. Now other eyes are set on it. So let's understand those politics. And we're ready for that fight too, and I got a plan for that. And I know my councilman and everybody can't wait to get involved. But you know what? We got to keep it going. And you know what? I got to give it up, Deborah, all of you, for doing what you do. You are giving the greatest tribute to Mr. Plummer. My nephew went to the program that you came back as alumni. And you gave back to this community. And now, and I'm embarrassed a little bit, because now I'm so proud. He's a graduate of Marist College sitting here today, okay? And that's because of the village, okay? The village that came together and supported him as a young black man trying to make it. There's no manual for this. It's tough. It shouldn't be the way it is. But when we have people here who are able to support us and help guide us and lead us, like Mr. Plummer, we appreciate him. And all those fights that we had, we did them with Mr. Plummer, by the way. Even when he was sick, too sick to be here, Mr. McIntosh, you know, you got a bus, 2 buses to go up there. And he always sent his love, and he always sent his support for Wadleigh. So it is because of him that we're here, and that he's touched so many lives. So many lives. And that truly is, as Janice said earlier, this is what power of one person. This is what one person can do. You don't have to, whatever your job is, whatever your ministry is, whatever it is that you do in this world, you can touch others. And you can touch many and be powerful with it. So I'm always going to remember Mr. Plummer. I'm always going to fight for this school that we love so much, that we call our Wadleigh. No matter what happens. And thank you again, Councilmember Salam, because this means so much. I'm proud. Anybody that asks me when they walk by and they say, who was Mr. Plummer? Who is Edward Plummer? I'm proud to say who that is. Thank you.
You know, you've kept hearing me say the loyals, but the statement I was looking for is the faithfuls, okay? Because you can be loyal, but when you're faithful, that means you're always there, okay? And we've amassed a bunch of loyals here, and I don't know if we've amassed it, but Mr. Plummer may have amassed it in the past, knowing that this would come together because he had a vision. And I'm so happy you're all here today. I get emotional around these faithfuls because I understand, and you all understand, what this means for all of us and for all of our families moving forward in our communities. And it's very important to me. The next person to speak is one of Mr. Plummer's faithful friends and teachers at Wadleigh. Let me just take a moment. Miss Matthew mentioned that she had fun teaching. I never thought about that because they were all so strict. So how could they be having fun? Well, they were so strict on us. But they were having fun because they knew they were getting through to their students. And they knew that when they came to school each day, there was a reason for them to be there. Okay? Chris mentioned a couple of things. There's one thing I want to mention that we all know about. Mr. Plummer taught us how to fold a New York Times, okay? Ooh. You don't just open the paper and start, you fold it in half, and as you go, you keep folding it in half, and even if you think you're not getting through the paper correctly, every time you fold, you're going to be in the next page, and you're going to get through it, and you won't disturb anyone around you. You won't have your hands out like this. Right. Mr. Plummer taught us that, and these were valuable lessons. We walked away going, wow. And we started reading the New York Times. That's it. Okay. Renee Lavigno, another of our, how do you call it? Nonagenarians. You know what that means, right? Not octogenarians, but nonagenarians. They have lived the life that they keep living well. Renee Lavigno, please come forward.
afternoon. You know, there was a time when I could get up here and speak extemporaneously. Those days are gone. Once you reach the 90s, your memory goes, your sight goes, your hearing goes, your balance goes, and yet you keep doing it, you keep going on because life does not end. I've been here almost in tears just listening to all of the people who've spoken prior to my turn. And I'd like to greet you all, first of all, for being here this afternoon on this very special sunny Saturday afternoon. I'd like to extend a special thanks to Senator Cordell Clear, whom I just met today, and I tapped her on the shoulder. I said, "Do you know Senator Cordell Clear?"
I said, I better know.
And she responded, "I am she."
That's right. That's right.
I'd also like to extend my thanks to our councilman, who is so well known to our area, Yusuf Salam, for all the work that he has done to make this come to fruition. And of course, Ms. Herrera, his assistant. And our gratitude too to Derek Wallace, who is basically the one who's running the show along with our master of ceremony, and to all of the people whose names appear on the back of the program. They are the ones who have taken over and done the work that Mr. Plummer had begun. And my first sweetheart, Janice Simpson, one of my first students. I'd be remiss, too, if I did not mention the name of Deborah Lucas Davis, who, although she was not a member of the program, she has dedicated just about her entire life to Mr. Plummer. And it is because of her that this event has taken place. Thank you for your genuine love and work. Let's see, as I said, there was a time when I could do this extemporaneously. And I printed this thing out, and it came out in font 2. When you're in your 90s, you have to use font 14 or 16. So forgive me as I read this. Mr. Plummer was a dignified, vibrant, strong, dependable, accomplished educator who dedicated his entire career to the development and achievement of young minds and spirits.
Yes, he did.
Mr. Plummer was a man of conviction, of determination, and of purpose. He learned from a very young age that ambition, education, and industry were good things, for they paved the way for a better standard of living and for positive development of self-esteem. Mr. Plummer's being honored this afternoon because he got up, looked for the opportunities around him, and if he couldn't find them, he made them happen.
It's true.
And he carried others along with him because of his enthusiastic manner of doing things. Mr. Plummer enlisted the services of his colleagues, Carmen Matthews, Doris Brunson, Judith Blammenbaum, Minnie Mott, Carol Bristol, John Curran, myself, to mention just a few, to coach, polish, prepare his charges to be competitive in the challenges associated with going to prep schools. These professionals spent hours coaching, teaching, visiting museums, attending classical concerts, dining in restaurants, and attending theater to introduce his students who might not have heretofore had the opportunity to experience these things. They learned how to do a firm handshake, because when you get the limp ones, you want to know whether you should kiss it or shake it. They learned where to place a napkin, what silverware to use, and again, a handshake, how to develop confidence, character, and composure during the interview process that they would have to go through later in life. Mr. Plummer called upon his personal friends, Lena Horne, Cheetah Rivera, Arthur Mitchell, the founder of the Dance Theater of Harlem, Lorenzo Jones, who made financial contributions to the funds to assist in the execution of the Wadleigh Scholars Program. He appeared on, this is font 12 that I'm doing, okay?
It's getting better, Progress.
We hear it.
That's right.
He appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show, where further financial backing was obtained. Anna Maria Horsford, a graduate of Wadleigh, also makes yearly contributions and is a scholarship in her name. And so we have the financial support of all these people. Now, yesterday I met with my writing group, and Rosemary Flowers Jackson said, Renee, you have to make this a talk tomorrow. Have you ever thought of AI? I said, no, I never have. I don't like it. I don't want it. She says, well, who are you honoring tomorrow? I said, Edouard E. Plummer. She says, well, I'm going to talk to AI and have them write a poem. So tell me some things about Mr. Plummer. And I did. And this was the result. This is not Renee Laverne, and this is the first part of my talk was mine. And the poem goes as forward. In Harlem's hall where bright minds grew, a teacher stood, both wise and true. With steady voice and patient hand, he helped young hearts to understand. Beyond the lessons, chalk and board, he gave his students something more. A spark of hope, a light to see, the power of possibility. He carried Harlem in his stride, with strength no struggle could divide. A mentor's heart, a spirit tall, he saw the best inside us all. Though years have passed, his name lives strong. In every life he journeyed long. For teachers leave when days are gone, a legacy that carries on. So here we gather, voice to ear, with gratitude beyond compare. Forever proud, we still remember the gift of you, dear Edouard Plummer. Now, this is scary because as a teacher, you're going to have to wonder whether it was AI or your student who's making this writing. But anyway, I thought I'd mention it. I do have a little humorous story to tell. One day in his class, Mr. Plummer noticed a student whispering to his fellow classmate when they were giving a quiz. He walked over quietly, leaned down, and said with a smile, now, if you're going to cheat, at least make sure the person you're copying from knows what he's talking about. The whole class burst into laughter, including the guilty one. Edouard Plummer, your memory will reverberate like an echo. Your legacy will remain etched in our hearts, our minds, and on the corner of 114th Street and 7th Avenue. Thank you for being here to honor our dear Mr. Plummer. He was a good friend. We traveled together, and he to introduce me to many things that I had not experienced. But with that, I thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about my friend, Mr. Plummer.
The other best part about being at these occasions is to hear people like Renee Lavigno speak and turn phrase. Renee, the fact that you have a book club in your nonagenarian years is incredible. And the fact that you actually accepted something in AI means that you are a progressive, even as you get older. Because I haven't accepted it. Next up on the list is someone I've known since 67. We've gotten into trouble together in Mr. Plummer's class and other classes. Yes, we have. But we've always been part of the Wadleigh Scholars Program when we were doing things. We've been working together for many years. Derek is now the director of Wadleigh Scholars Program, taking over from Mr. Plummer. And I'm sure he has something good to tell. Come on.
All right, Joe. All right.
Wow, I have to actually follow Mr. Lavigno. I've given up. All right, welcome everybody. Thank you all for being here. I do want to give thanks again to some folks who were already thanked, but I think it's important for me to give thanks to Deborah Lucas Davis for helping put this stuff together from the inset, going to the Harlem State Office building and preaching in what we needed to do, to Ralph and to Chris for also providing some input, letting them see that this was a worthy event, a worthy thing to do for such a person like Mr. Plummer. I want to also thank Valerie and a few others for helping put some of this stuff together here today for us. And I always want to thank my fellow mentors who work with me in the program. I believe I became director of the program only because it's like the old army trick. You know, who wants to volunteer? Everybody else steps back, and I'm the only one going like, huh? Who, me? Yeah, and that's how I inherited this. But anyway, here's some serious things and thoughts about Mr. Plummer. I remember the support and lack of support he had to deal with at Wadleigh. We all heard that through the years. I was in the 7th group here at this school, so, you know, he stood fast and he stood strong to try to make sure that we got where we deserved and got what we wanted. His steadfast courage and intrepidness to overcome the odds around him was, you know, phenomenal. Every year he had to battle his fellow colleagues and whether this was the right thing to do. And we were end up being called Plummer's kids all the time because we lined up outside, we lined up inside, we sat at assigned seats. The connections he made with the boarding schools and administrators and the admissions people were, you know, was superb. I mean, that's how it made us be more aware of our surroundings and who we were. I don't think I could probably apply to the Wadleigh Scholars Program today. I mean, there's a lot of things going on, and the students now are sharper. They have all this social media and all this electronics going for us. But Mr. Plummer, he was his own computer. He was his own internet. He knew how to talk to people, and he would bring somebody in. He goes, you know, we got to get some more kids into the school here. You know, we got to get some more kids in that school. And next thing you know, they were there. I was accepted to Brandeis. Didn't want to go there. I got accepted to Stuyvesant. I wasn't sure about that. Got accepted to Hackley in Tarrytown. And then he didn't say anything. And then my great aunt, who actually raised me, kind of embarrassed me by walking me. I lived on 111th Street there. Proceeded to walk me with hand in my ear up to Wadleigh, through St. Nicholas up to here to Mr. Plummer. And Mr. Plummer was sharp. He knew exactly what more students to be interested in the Wadleigh Scholars Program. Bringing the program into the new century was probably a challenge for him because, you know, he loved to type the applications up on his typewriter. Not too many people will know what a typewriter is now, but it is. But we also know Mr. Plummer's spelling wasn't always that good. Because there was that one key that was always not typing, and he would just, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But the fact that he would come in here, stay late at night, come in early, and his time off, type those things. But when we had to tell Mr. Plummer, things are done online. What? You mean I don't have to come in and type? I'm still going to come in and type the stuff up. Mr. Plummer, we're not using that anymore. That's okay. They can at least get copies and follow through on. And we followed through what he said. We started to use copies of things so that we can get the students ready for their applications, interview questions, any supplements. So he also showed that volunteerism was also key. He didn't do this with any brick and mortar, but he used the Wadleigh Secondary School as his home base. He had the right teachers that would be friends of the program. So whenever he brought boarding school admissions people, he would bring them here and have the students come here for interviews. There was a challenge over the last number of years where we didn't necessarily have the quality and type of students from Wadleigh to be part of the program. So we branched out. But that didn't stop Mr. Plummer at all. He incorporated and enveloped all of those peoples and those families to come back and be part of the program. He always talked about, from its inception to where we were at that time, to say what a unique organization this was and program and foundation this was. We're thankful that his great work, his good work, is being recognized today in this street naming that he patrolled over 60 years. Honoring this man that is often replicated but never duplicated is something that we continue to be proud of. I'm happy they say I'm the director, I'm a coordinator, I don't do anything without my colleagues, to continue his efforts and hope that we continue to lead this for many more years to come. I would like to just say thank you, Mr. Plummer, for your wisdom, your thoughts, your kindness, and then spreading the joy to all the folks here. You can see how many people love you and want to continue to honor you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Derek. Next up is a former librarian at Wadleigh, someone who, I'm not sure how long you were there, but someone who got deeply involved with the community and with the school. And that's one of the reasons we know who he is. His name is Mr. Paul McIntosh, and I always consider him an accomplished poet.
Yeah.
You know, I had to pause for a minute when I listened to our august representative here, Ms. Clear, and when I saw Ms. Roberts. Because back in the day, when the struggle was aflame, this sister and that sister and some others, they stood strong and steadfast. So when Ms. Lucas asked me to come and say something today, in all candor and in all honesty, I was a little bit reluctant. And then again, I was thinking about Mr. Plummer in a day when Corey Wise was in the library. He brought all of what had happened to the brothers here. So that space, in some real sense, is Mr. Plummer's essence. Mm-hmm. And so when Ms. Davis asked me if I would come today, I was reluctant. Not because I don't have any love for Mr. Plummer, but because I didn't feel that I could add anything to what you all have already said. This sister was in Wadleigh. I remember how they would come in and out of the library, the music of it all. And so, as I listened and started thinking about life, for some reason, the Gospel of Thomas kind of came into my head. Because I think something that Jesus said in the Gospel of Thomas speaks to exactly what Mr. Plummer tried to do. In the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus says, if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. And so what Mr. Plummer did was to bring forth what was within the young brothers and sisters who stepped out into the world and shared what was within them.
Yes.
So if you bring forth, and he saw it so clearly, otherwise he could not have executed it in the way that he did. He would not have taken those young brothers and sisters and kind of admonished them appropriately. He would not have taken them to the theater. He would not have labored long and hard in the vineyard of struggle if he didn't understand that to bring forth what was within those young brothers and sisters is what is necessary. And so, as I said, I stand before you, and these brothers here, I don't see him as often, but I remember when Corey was in that library. Yes. Mr. Plummer was there.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking of the words of a poet. It talks about legacy. And if memory serves me correctly, it says, ready or not, someday it will all come to an end. There will be no more sunrises, sunsets. There will be no more of any of this. And speaking of what we will no longer embrace, I'd just like to share the essence of what legacy is all about. Mr. Plummer, when he talked of bringing forth what was within us, these words come to mind, and I'll conclude with this. He said, I've known rivers. I've known rivers ancient as the world and older than the flow of human blood in human veins. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. I bathed in the Euphrates when dawns were young. I built my hut near the Congo, and it lulled me to sleep. I looked upon the Nile and raised the pyramids above it. I heard the singing of the Mississippi when Abe Lincoln went down to New Orleans, and I've seen its mighty bosom turn all golden in the sunset. I've known rivers, ancient, dusky rivers. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. Those, in essence, are Mr. Plummer's words. If you bring forth what is within you, and that is what he dedicated his life to doing, to helping young people bring forth what is within them. So thank you.
Yes.
That was one of the poems that we learned for an assembly at Wadleigh, where we stood up in front of the school and we recited Langston Hughes poems.
That's right.
And as Paul was saying it, I was mouthing some of the words. Some of the words. Thank you for that. We have someone who's not on the program, but should probably have been. Deborah tried to contact them, but I don't know if we got through them. Charles Patterson from Community Board 10 is here. He's one of the people who helped get this to happen.
Thank you very much. I'm Daniel Patterson. I am chairperson of Transportation, Landmarks, and Historical Preservation. We did a vote. It was a unanimous vote, June 24th, to dedicate this sign, this street co-naming to Edward Plummer. I just wanted to say that this is a moment in which we all come together. As the rivers run through Harlem, this runs through our blood. Edward Plummer runs through us. We have been a historical entity in Harlem. I think we've had some of the most significant, some of the smartest, some of the most influential people, and some of them are sitting right here in the front row. So I just wanted to dedicate to Edward Plummer, to associate him with Langston Hughes, Arturo Schomburg, Percy Sutton, Basil Patterson, David Dinkins, and to thank him for all the things he's done. And the thing about education is that we always need education because it frees our spirit and it gives us self-respect and it makes our children go further in life than they've ever thought before. Thank you.
Thank you.
My apology for the misnaming.
That's all right.
Up next, we have the person who has been spearheading this. Here's something you might not know. Street co-namings, they require a lot of proving. They require a lot of rules. They require a lot of getting together with boards and things like that in order to make them happen. When we thanked Deborah, we really needed to thank her because Deborah is tenacious. Okay, Deborah said this is going to happen. I'm tired of waiting for it to happen. Now is the time, and she pushed forward. And Chris and I came to support her. She still pushed forward. But this process is one where, number one, you have to be deceased. You can't get this while you're alive. It has to be at least 2 years since the time of your passing. You have to collect petitions of people who knew you. And when they were talking before about Mr. Plummer walking down the street, I remember walking down the street with Mr. Plummer on just some typical afternoon after we came from Wadleigh. And as we passed almost every building, and I don't want to exaggerate this, I said almost every building. Good afternoon, Mr. Plummer.
Yep.
How are you, Mr. Plummer?
Yep.
Oh, Mr. Plummer.
Yep.
Mr. Plummer, Mr. Plummer. And I'm like,
That's
whoa.
exactly how it
And
works.
at the same time, Mr. Plummer would say, I knew him. I taught his mother. He could have gone away to school. Mr. Plummer was a walking encyclopedia. Derek talked about him only wanting his typewriter. That's all he needed. We got him a computer. He didn't use it, and he remembered everybody better than we could. Okay, we would study his charts, and we still couldn't tell you who came, when, and what classes they went to, and things like that. I have to say this on a personal note. I also remember when Mr. Plummer found out about the situation that we all know so well about you, gentlemen. He was furious. He was livid. Even at that point, Orange was called all kinds of names. And that was my introduction to you because I wasn't paying as much attention as I could. Okay? I am proud that you are the person who helped sponsor this. I think there were 197 street co-namings this past year in December when this was ratified in front of the city council because they go through processes. I was surprised there were so many because I said, with all the work we had to do, I doubt if everyone else had the temperament to just go through this, but they make you test.
You still in Harlem?
This is still Harlem. You're right, still Harlem. Nobody else jumped, so I know I was good.
That's right. That's right.
And that's right.
We got you.
He's over, he definitely got my back.
That's right.
But we went through this process. We found out that there is a dedicated staff that does this. I have to thank Shani Herrera. She did an excellent job. She led us through this. She held our hands. She gave suggestions. She does. She spent nights with us. That's true. We got to know each other before we even saw each other. Anyway, I hope that the reason that you are so successful is because you have people like Shani in your court. I hope that Shani's in your court because you're a smart man and shows her. I'm pretty sure that happened. But Councilman Yusef Salaam, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the stage for the street co-naming for Edouard E. Plummer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I get to do this in front of my good brother Raymond Santana and also my mama who's in the room. I said, everybody loves my mama. And my good cousin who led the charge. You know, as I sat here, I contemplated as to whether I should read the remarks that had been prepared. And I think I should, but I want to just take a moment to appreciate the value of what happens when someone sees you. When someone recognizes that you were born on purpose and that you will not become your ancestors' wildest nightmare, inspire us today. It is my great privilege to help usher in the co-naming of this street in honor of Edouard E. Plummer, an extraordinary educator, mentor, and visionary. Mr. Plummer was born on May 22nd of 1928. And over the course of his 90 years, he became a beacon of hope and opportunity for countless students. His story is one of tireless dedication. It's the kind that doesn't just change lives, but in fact, transforms communities. Mr. Plummer began his lifelong career at Wadleigh High School, where he taught mathematics and social studies. But teaching was only the beginning of his impact. He founded what was then known as the Wadleigh ABC Scholarship Program, a pioneering effort that provided gifted students in Harlem with the chance to attend top-tier private schools across the country. Now known as the Wadleigh Scholars Program, it celebrates its 60th anniversary this year. And thanks to Mr. Plummer's vision and persistence, over 600 students have gone on to attend more than 80 prep schools nationwide. These are young people whose lives were forever changed by a man who believed in their potential before the world had even saw it. His work caught the attention not only of Harlem, but of the nation with features in the New York Times. And by the way, that story about learning how to fold the New York Times, I had to learn that. And I learned that when I came home from prison, because I would go downtown to the then World Trade Center, and I would always see these folks reading the New York Times. And I was amazed at how they would fold the paper. And to hear that story being told, that he gifted the students with that amazing ability, is phenomenal. But he had features and attention. He caught the attention of the New York Times, the Amsterdam News, the Christian Science Monitor, the Daily News, the Ebony Magazine, and many others. Local Harlem business community rallied to support his mission, offering financial assistance and moral encouragement. National leaders also took notice. Mr. Plummer received letters of recognition from President Lyndon B. Johnson, from Senator Robert F. Kennedy, Congressman Adam Clayton Powell Jr., and even President Barack Obama. These honors reflect the scale of his impact, both in the classroom and far beyond. Through his lifetime, Mr. Plummer was the recipient of numerous prestigious awards, including 21 Band's Unsung Hero Award, the Howard University Alumni Award, the American Institute for Public Services Thomas Jefferson Award, and the Oprah Winfrey. And I love this one. All of them I love, but this one tells who he was. The great, never late. The award was called Use Your Life Award, given by Oprah Winfrey. Appearing on her show to share his inspiring work, but perhaps his greatest reward came not from accolades or television appearances, but from the generations of students who walked through the doors of Wadleigh High School and walked out with a brighter future because of him. Edouard Plummer wasn't just an educator. He was a force for good, a mentor, a builder of futures, a champion for Harlem. Today, by naming this street in honor of him, we ensure that his name lives on in the very neighborhood that he served faithfully. Let this street be a symbol, a daily reminder, in fact, to all those who pass by this way, of what one person's dedication, of what one heart, and what a person's belief in others can achieve. Let us continue to walk in his legacy, to uplift, to invest in our youth, and to build a future worthy of his name. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Edouard E. Plummer. And may the Edouard E. Plummer's legacy live on forever and ever and ever in the streets and in the very hearts of Harlem. Thank you. And on that note, I'll pass the mic back.
This is the point of this gathering, and I'm loving that as we've gone on, more and more people have come on. Just people passing by, that's good. We're passing the word in different ways. I thought after this I was going to crash because I've been up planning this. I think I'm going to be flying after this.
That's right. That's right.
I'm floating. I'm full.
That's right.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for continuing to support us. Thank you for coming to fellowship with us, because it's very important. As we come back to touch one another's hearts, you will go out and you will touch someone else's heart. It may lift your day.
That's right.
Okay? I could do this every day of the week for the next 3-4 months and not get tired. Anyway, thank you very much. We're going to go over to the plaque, to the street sign and unveil it, finally.
No, that's it. But I think we're gonna do a countdown. Can we count it down? From 3 down to 1. Oh wait, 7, yes, come on.
Yes. They're about to pull it.
Come here, Dolores. Are we all gathered?
Yes.
Come on, wait for Dolores, please.
Come through, Renee.
Oh, yes, sir.
Right here. Put your hand on this rope. Put your hand on this rope.
Don't pull down.
Oh, man. We ain't that young.
Hold on, wait. Count.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. This way.
Mike, could you give this right here?
Take the picture.